Hey everyone, so I'm about to get way too into this. I like plants, and a little over a year and a little bit over a year ago, in fact September of last year, I started gardening, and a year and 2 months later, I started reflecting on how far I've come, and I realized, wow, like I've really developed myself and really improved as a gardener. I found this video that I made in January of this year. At that point, I had only been gardening for 4 months, and I was just amazed. Like at 4 months, how much I knew. 4 months compared to now, how little I knew, and also just yeah, wow. And also now, so that I live in a different place, I have a lot more plants. I garden in a different way, so that stuff has changed. So I'm gonna show you around. So this is where it all started, right here in my nope. This is where it all started, right here in my front yard. A couple of weekends ago, right here, I put in these two garden beds right here. This is my dinky front yard right here. Um, Put in these raised garden beds. As you can see, right over here, I put in. I covered the area underneath it with cardboard in order to smother the plants. Filled it up with leaves for mulching. All these leaves are going to decompose over the winter, and it's going to create some really nice compost for next year, for everything that I'm going to plant in there next year. Uh, so in thinking about this, and I was preparing for it, I'm making a list of the plants that I want to grow, the seeds that I want to buy, and I'm like, wow, I really came so far. So yeah, let me show you how far I've come, because I just posted the video that I filmed in January giving my plant tour in my old apartment, and now I'm going to give you a tour of what I've done up until now, what I'm doing now. So the first thing that I want to show you is, well, since I'm already here in the front yard, I might as well show you some of the things that I have going on here in the backyard. Right now I don't really have much going on. That rose bush was already there when I moved in. It was really ratty, but with mulching and trimming and making sure that pests didn't get on it, I was finally able to get it to stabilize, because there were bugs that were eating the leaves as soon as they would grow. And as such, that rose bush was giving us roses right up until, I guess, it started to get cold. So that's really cool. Nothing here in the front yard as of yet. As you can see, it's really just all leaves. I need to get more leaves, because like this area right over here, I want to fill it. I just want to cover everything in leaves, and then the raised garden bed is really going to be just for the leafy green and annuals production. Out here, let's see. Down here is an experiment. I planted chocolate mint transplant. Let's see, where is it? It's like right here. This little bit of chocolate mint here. It's this spot right here was really rocky, and I had some extra chocolate mint transplants, so I decided to see if it would take here. And so far it's doing well, and even though it's spreading out, like, it's not really shooting runners, and I guess it's because the soil here is really rocky. So it's been contained there at least this year. We'll see what if that remains the case in a couple of next year. So yeah, we got this going on here. I did right here, this dead plant right here used to be my moon vine, and if you follow me on Instagram, I've taken a lot of pictures of this moon vine. I had taken a lot of pictures of this moon vine, but as you can see right now, it's I live in Alexandria, Virginia. That's zone 7, so this is too cold for it, and as such, it's an annual here. One of the things that I need to do is right here with these like seed pods right here, and these seed pods over here, and all these other seed pods right around here, is that I need to harvest those. Well, these down here are drying off, so those are probably good to harvest. But I need to harvest these so that way I can save them for next year, because this moon vine was really pretty and I really did like it here. I want some more in the backyard, because the backyard is a really great space to hang out in when the weather is nice. But what I'm going to do here is, after I harvest the seeds, I'm just going to trim this all off, because it doesn't look good, it's not going to grow back. There's no point in it. Might as well just turn it into worm food, whatever. So that's my front yard. Next year, this front yard is going to be totally different because there's going to be bushes and shrubs and all kinds of stuff there. It's going to be really amazing. My goal next year is that in the front yard, I want to be able to pick my own salad out of the front yard, just a mixed green salad. You know, get some sorrel, get some spinach, get some nasturtiums. Here we go. All right, so, oh my goodness, my kitchen is not very good for lighting, taking a video. Anyway, so this is my kitchen. Right over here, I have like 25 air plants around the house, which now because the weather got colder and the heaters are turning on, I have to move them around. So this is the place where I think that these air plants, they were in the living room, but I think that they're going to spend the winter in the kitchen. This right here, this is an orchid that I saved, that I rescued from my office, that somebody had just left to die. I switched it over to water culture. It almost died on me. At one point it only had like one root. And it started growing leaves. And for now it's stopped. I'm not sure what's going on with it. But you know, it's like you can still see some of the damage from when I rescued it. But you know, it's doing well in water culture, and it's in a very nice glass, courtesy of D. Put this really nice stickers on it. Let's come over here to the kitchen garden. Now in the January video, I think it was great because in the January video I just set it up, and I had just done a little bit of reorganization in this kitchen garden. The first thing you'll see is I have some lemon balm that's drying here that I harvested, and I'll show you where I harvested that later. I have some lavender back here that's also that I also recently harvested, which is also drying off there. I'll show you the tomato plant later, but the day before temperatures hit freezing for the first time at night here, I took off almost all of the tomatoes and the one little jalapeno pepper that was left. And so I got them in here, and now they're starting to, just ripen on their own there. Oh, boy, I have so many kitchen garden plants. Let's move through some of these real quick. This right here is a, my goodness, here we go. This right here is a black petunia. It just started its third round of blooming. It's naturally an annual, but with a good feeding cycle, I was able. Now this is the third time that I've got it to bloom. You know, it was given when I bought it. It was blooming. It stopped. I started fertilizing it heavily. It started, and I put it outside and it stopped. And as the weather started getting colder, I started fertilizing it heavily, and and now it's blooming again. Right here, my Venus flytrap. Venus flytraps are super temperamental when grown indoors and kept as indoor plants, but I've been doing well with it so far. It just seems to, like, I don't need to feed it insects because sometimes fruit flies get in here and they tend to hang around the kitchen garden plants, and so they just get in there. Let's see, some scraps. I got some green onions here. I have some garlic that it was starting to sprout, so I put it in a shot glass. I have some rosemary that I had harvested for a meal that I now have in water for, spreading around. Oh boy. Here is a lavender plant. They was outside for, during the weather was warm. And a few weeks ago, I brought it in. I trimmed it. I harvested it. And now it's under the grow lights and it's sprouting again. Oh boy. Let's see. Let me put this over here. So yeah, before I had a worm bin, and it was down here on the first one, the first shelf, but that's now outside in the backyard. I'll show you later. I'm gonna move all the stuff from the second shelf here, and I'm gonna move it down to the first shelf. I'm gonna use the second shelf. I'm gonna create a nursery here with using white grow lights, full spectrum grow lights, and I'm gonna create a nursery here for all of the stuff that I'm gonna put out in the front yard come next spring. And that's gonna be awesome, something to look forward to. And then after it's a nursery, then I'm gonna turn it into a kitchen garden for microgreens. So that's gonna be awesome. Let's move through some of this really quick. I have this is my what would you call it? What was that? This is, I guess, as a joke, like this is my arboretum. So like I have, this is thyme. This is the same rescue. Oh boy, I can't even see it there. This is the same rescue succulent from the January video. Right here, look at how much taller it is than it was in January. So that's really cool. I also have a lemon verbena here that I keep trimming back because I'm hoping to like get it to grow back really bushy and turn kind of into a bonsai. Not bonsai, but you know what I mean. Like a really tiny planty plant. It'll be really cool. I have onion chives and garlic chives in these pots. This is in fact how I started with the whole thing of doing things in pots, because I always wanted like just a little patch of grass in a small pot. And then I got onion chives, and I have garlic chives too. Let's put all of this back. I have a basement, but I don't have any plants in the basement yet because those are indoor plants. I haven't really done much shopping for indoor plants yet. But give me some time. I would like to get some low light plants. This basement it has like one window for the whole thing, and I might put like one low light plant on that. We'll see. So that's it for the kitchen. Oh wow, 12 minutes. I only just started. My grow lights are on a timer, on a 12.5-hour timer. So they're on from 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. right now. And I moved that because you can see the grow lights from the front window. So if you're standing outside, you can see the grow lights. So I moved it to be earlier, so that way you don't get like any wow looking around, trying saying, hey, there's like some weird lights going on in here. I'm going upstairs. I only have 3 plants upstairs. Look at these little tribbles, looking as cute as they are. These are Xerographicas. I have 3 of them right here in my bathroom. They're really cool. Look at how big they are. Now that the weather's getting colder, and so there tends to be a lot of condensation in the bathroom, these are good at absorbing the moisture in the air. And even though it's been like maybe like a week and a half since I watered them, they look like they've just been watered, just because I guess they're absorbing the extra moisture in the air, which is cool. And now I know that the reason why they're doing that is because I have Xerographicas here in the living room, and these Xerographicas here in the living room, I watered them all on the same day, and these are looking a little drier, feeling a little lighter than the ones upstairs feel. Here's the aloe. When I first moved to the house, I had the aloe in the kitchen window, but I came to realize that it started to move away from June 21st. The lighting there was just not good for an aloe plant, so I put it outside for the rest of the season. And once temperatures started to get below 50 degrees, I brought it in. And since the heater is right here, since the heater's right here, right in front, I think that the aloe will do well there being sturdy. So unlike last winter when I had it in a bathroom and the moisture could serve to the moisture would serve to keep it alive, and I only had to water it once a month. Here I'm going to have to continue watering it once a week. Oh yeah, so the thing about this townhouse is the the only, because it's a townhouse, you know, there are only windows on two sides. So in the front, though, that window in the kitchen is the only window, and it faces northeast. And then here, faces southwest, and this is the only windows that we have facing that. Now look at my cat. This cat always getting into the catnip, looking real cute on camera always. Yeah. Yeah, good kitty Philip had. All right. So we got a couple of other. Right here, there's another arium. Oh, you know what I was thinking about today? So there's terrariums, right? And terrariums. So like there's the terra, and then eum in it, right? Eum is just like the Latin ending for a noun. So terra being like earth. So there's like a place of earth, and then terrariums for air plants can be called ariums. In my case, they're definitely ariums because the only thing that I have in them, like I don't have any soil in here, is just decorative rocks. So definitely an arium. So you have a terrarium, you have an arium, you have an aquarium. So what is a? So we got 3 of the 4 elements. So what's a fire eum? And that's your question for the day, right? Deep thoughts. This is the sort of stuff I think about. Okay, so like I said, most of my plants inside right now are tillandsias. They're air plants because they're small. Like I have like 25 of them or so around here. They make up a good bulk of the plants that I have. I have over 60 plants that I take care of, and about 25 of them are air plants. So that's cool. Maybe like the number of plants that I have is closer to 70, but it's definitely over 60. Oh boy. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we're outside in the backyard, and this is where this is where I spent the bulk of my time from when we moved here in June. So let's go through it. These are some mums. Interesting. This is the second round of blooming that they're doing. The first time they were very pink, and this time around they're more red. Cool stuff. Love variety. This is a citronella geranium. I trimmed it back just as the weather started to get cold, and now, well, it's an annual in zone 7. So, but it was really nice to have, and it smells nice, and it looks interesting. So I'll probably get another one next year. It didn't flower, so no seeds to save there. Let's see. Down here, these are some of the air pots that I used. This year. That was a Genovese basil, a chocolate mint, and an apple mint. And as soon as the weather started to get cold, that chocolate mint and the apple mint were doing beautifully. And I'm like, I'm gonna harvest it next week. And then over the course of a few days, I don't know what happened. It just decided to give up, and so I didn't get to harvest the mint, unfortunately, which was sad. But that's okay, because mint isn't really the most important herb to me. It's a nice to have as opposed to a must have. For me, like my most have herbs, fresh herbs right now, are things like lemon balm for tea, thyme, basil, and rosemary. I still have marjoram. There's a few plants I need to harvest. Let me get on with the tour right now, because I realize that I've been here for like 18 minutes already, and I haven't gotten through all the plants. So let's move through here. Right here, a little patch of pennyroyal. This is a Goodwin's Creek lavender. This whole thing right here, let me back up for a minute. This whole wall right here, this side wall, I planted this maybe like a week or 2 after I came back from the Chesapeake Herb Gathering. So that was a really cool project. As I said, this faces southwest, so like for example, whoop, sorry for that. This area right here where I have my hammock frame doesn't grow anything on this side because it never gets any direct sunlight, as opposed to over here, my grill. Yeah, so anyway, I planted all of this like a month, like a little over a month ago. So yeah, that's a Goodwin's Creek lavender. Here is a lemon balm. That's not the only lemon. This is not the lemon balm I harvested. Here is a Salem rosemary. This is some kind of sage. I think it's a golden sage. And here's some lemon verbena. Lemon verbena is awesome. For its medicinal properties, for its tea properties, it smells so good. Lemon verbena, it smells kind of like a lemon Fruit Loop, but obviously it tastes better than Fruit Loops. It's really good. This right here is an amethyst basil that's holding on for dear life and refuses to die out. So there you go. And it's right next to this column basil. This column basil, I had a column basil last year. It's not the same column basil. But column basil is supposed to be perennials as opposed to annual. So we'll see if it actually survives right here. It's got some growth since I've planted it. It's also starting to, some of the leaves are starting to die off of it. Once I get a good first frost in and the temperatures are regularly down, I need to trim all of this, and I have this big pile of leaves right here. I take all that and I'm gonna trim all of this down, and I'm just gonna dress it with the leaves, let it go. I got another Salem rosemary right here. This one was actually in my kitchen garden, and I was like practicing pruning techniques on that. Pruning shaping techniques. That there's two times there. There's silver lemon thyme and there's golden lemon thyme right there, right next to each other. That is another Provence lavender. I have the Provence lavender in the bedroom. The Provence lavender that I showed you earlier, that's one of the oldest plants that I have. Because I had a running gag about, I want bedroom lavender. And you know what? I had bedroom lavender for like a month or two, and then I decided that it needed a better place in the bedroom, and I haven't had bedroom lavender since. And my current bedroom, it doesn't have enough lighting to host a lavender plant, so that's kind of sad. Right here's a catnip. This catnip I planted, was one of the first things that I planted when I got here, and so as you can see, it's really nice, really big, really luscious. It's looking pretty cool. I don't think I'm gonna harvest it. I think I'm just gonna chop and drop. Over here, I've got a few medicinals over here and some other stuff. Way back there, that's a julep spearmint. That over there, that's Italian oregano. That right there is, what's it called? Self heal or bone heal? I can't remember exactly. This one right here, that's winter savory. This right here, this is motherwort. The self heal, the motherwort, and then this is the valerian. I bought those at the Chesapeake Herb Gathering, so that's cool. This was my tomato plant. Well, it's hanging on for dear life, but really it's not long for this world, because the first night of a freezing temperature rolled through just like a day or two ago, and I trimmed the tomatoes off like that very day right before it went down to that. This is my jalapeno pepper plant, which somehow seems to be hanging on despite the cold weather. Silver sage, which I need to harvest this week. Greek marjoram, that's also one that I really want to harvest, because marjoram, really good for roasted potatoes, really good with chicken. This is blue Tuscan rosemary. This is the rosemary that I actually use most often when I'm cooking. And it's also the same rosemary that I have growing in water culture to transplant for pruning. And then this right here is rosemary. And then this right here is a lemon balm that I harvested, and I don't expect it to live. I don't expect any of these plants in the pots to live. That's why I'm just going to harvest the rosemary, marjoram, and sage. I don't know how much I'm going to do with potted plants next year, because I'm going to be focusing so much on that front yard and the raised garden bed. This right here is another catnip plant. Actually, so if you watch the video that I posted in January, I had a catnip plant in an air pot. When I got here, the aphids had nearly killed that one. So I pulled out the root ball from the air pot, and I put that ball into the ground here, just to give it like an honest chance of living, and it actually thrived and it actually flowered. So cool. I have a catnip plant here. So what I'm going to do here is from that valerian plant over there, I'm going to section off about 30 square feet here. I'm going to leave the catnip plant alive. I'm going to work around it. But I'm going to smother everything else. And I want to make like an allium garden here, and I just want to plant garlic. That's going to be a project, not for this weekend, unfortunately, but probably for next week. And for Thanksgiving weekend seems like a good time to do stuff like that, right? And I also do have a few, some garlic that is just starting to sprout, which you saw I had in a shot glass there. So I'm going to do that. And that's it. That is my garden tour. It's been really great. This is my second year now. Like I said, I've been doing this for 1 year and 2 months. My interest in gardening. So, my interest in gardening, one year and 2 months so far. So this is my second year in it. I'm developing a perennial mindset. I'm moving away from a mindset of scarcity towards one of abundance. Studying permaculture a lot, watching a lot of great YouTube gardeners. Let's see. Let me name a few. James Prigioni and his food forest. Maura Gamble down in New Zealand. Those are the main. Oh, the 1 Yard Revolution channel. That gardener's in Michigan, I think. But anyway, I've been watching videos of people doing permaculture stuff, so I've been learning more about chop and drop and food forests and just growing organically, and it's been great. It's been a journey. This is my second year. I finally have my bit of earth. Over there is my worm bin. It's no longer an indoor worm bin. It's now an outdoor worm bin. I don't even know if I'm gonna keep it anymore. But I used the compost that was in there to fertilize this entire sidewall here. And I left some in there as a starter for the next stuff. Right now I've just been piling leaves in there, as well as like whatever produce I keep in the house. Every few days I throw it in there. So it's still working, although I think that by this point, since it's been out for so long, and also because I harvested most of the humus out of it, I don't think that if there are worms still in it, there aren't that many. So, and also because of the cold weather, I just don't think that the worms will be doing much in there. But whatever, it's been doing great. So that's it. That's my garden tour. I'll probably do another one of these in a few months. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you understand that, like, no matter where it is that you start, even if you start with one cilantro plant that infests your whole house with aphids, like, you can be a gardener too, no matter what space you have. And with enough study and ambition and determination, you can become the kind of gardener that you want to be. But just you have to treat yourself and your studies like a plant. You have to give it time. You have to nurture it. You have to give it nutrition, and you have to take care of it. You have to take care of yourself, your studies, and you'll get there. All right. Anyway, that's it. That's the video. Have fun. Talk to you later. Next video coming up whenever. We'll see. Bye.